Good evening. I'm Rebecca Highbottom, and this is the Red Lipstick Republic Fake News Broadcast, where we do our best to bring you all the fake news, conspiracy theories, and rumors we can scavenge. Basically, we are your geopolitical soap opera reporters. We take utmost care in following reputable sources such as Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and let's not forget YouTube, where we meet. Fact-checking is not necessary, as this broadcast only reports on certified fake news. We are here to entertain. We don't want to make anybody smarter. Now, who'd want that? Without further ado, let's get into today's story. It's very difficult to choose what news we are going to bring to you because there's just such an avalanche of bad news that it's just about picking which bad news we want to bring to you. All right, let's get into some of the stories that we chose for today. Today, the theme is sudden death. Sudden death has, over a course of not a whole 3 years, become normalized, like sudden infant death. For years and years and years, parents had children that died in a crib, and despite our best efforts and our most reputable scientists, as they now tell us to follow the science, there was no cause of death for these children that suddenly died in their crib. This is not the only thing that we have sudden death in anymore. The new normal is there's crisp crib death for sudden infant death, but now we have sudden adult death. This is the new normal. Welcome. Let's just look at 1 month worth of deaths. Lucky for us, we have annoying people like myself that do read the news. This news is sometimes making it to the mainstream media and sometimes it is not. It's kind of ironic because the amount of superstars that have perished in the last two and a half years is apparently unremarkable. Apparently, people that are suddenly collapsing in the middle of football games, which I don't follow, but I do know the statistics. The statistics say that out of 7 million tackles, 1.7 million total tackles, not one time has there ever been an incident on the field where someone got tackled and then subsequently had a sudden death or sudden collapse of a heart attack. Doesn't happen, never happened before, but the new normal is coming. Let's just go over some of the people that have moved on, left us, and we can only speculate whether or not they participated in the treatment that was mandated. The first one, and we're going to work our way from the most aged to the youngest. Tom Wilkinson is the Full Monty actor. He dies at 75. His wife stated in one paragraph in this entire article, he died suddenly at home. His wife and his family had been at home and he died suddenly, and that's all that they had for the media. They had nothing else. He just died suddenly. Physical ailments, besides the fact that he was 75. In this day and age, people, 75 is the new 65 or even 55. So he died suddenly at 75. Ex-DePaul player, I don't know who that is, but this gentleman is ex-DePaul player coach. So I guess that's the team. Coach Joey Myers dies at 74. In this article, it states Joey Myers, who played at DePaul and coached the Blue Demons, to 7 NCAA, I guess that's some sort of body, tournament appearances in 13 seasons, has died at 74. Again, it appears that his age had something to do with it, and that's how they write these articles. They make it look like, well, you know, it happens, old age, so we don't question it because there's so many people that are perishing that are over 65 that it's just a normalcy. It's old age, they're expiring. But Many of these articles talk about how sudden it was and how in 2023, many of these articles state they do not know what the cause of death was. So we've supposedly been to the moon, and we've supposedly got AI just around the corner that's going to be able to solve all our world problems again. But we do not know what a 74 or a 75 or a 33 or a 24-year-old person died from. Remarkable. Moving on. Hong Kong's, and I'm just going to say the jabby jab ambassador, perishes at 57 suddenly. No warning whatsoever. Again, part of the article says, Hong Kong's actress Kathy Chow, who served as the Chinese Communist Party controlled region's jabby jab ambassador, has been found dead at the age of 57 years old. The circumstances, surrounding Chow's sudden death have been raising suspicions after her medical records were leaked online. So in this article, it goes to speak about a medical personnel that took a photograph of her charts, and subsequently this person has been hunted down because that's not allowed in China, but that's irrelevant. What's relevant is this whistleblower took the risk to showcase that there was absolutely no reason that she should have perished. So then it goes on to say, despite initial claims suggesting that Chow had died while being treated for an illness, her medical records were leaked online showing she was found dead after suffering from a sudden heart failure incident. Back to more of this evidence. Bobby Jean Carter found dead after sudden death at 41. Bobby Jean Carter, the sister of Backstreet Boys singer Aaron and Nick Carter, has been found dead at the age of 41. Carter died on Saturday, December 23rd. What a nice Christmas for that family. In Florida, TMZ reports the cause of Carter's unexpected passing has not been revealed. However, her family describes the tragedy as a sudden death. So Bobby Jean Carter was found dead at 41. And there is no indication that we're going to find out why she actually officially died. And nobody's asking these questions. These stories are coming out literally by the day. If it's not an actor like Celine Dion falling prey to stiff person's disease. Personally, in my own life, what I am witnessing is most if not all of my friends that went ahead with the treatment, and we know which treatment we're talking about, the mandated treatment. All of the friends that I know, the women that have been forced, that had this treatment forced onto them, are all going through menopause. I know a 30-some-odd-year-old, I don't know exactly how, but she's under 40, right into menopause. Isn't that problematic? Is it not problematic that women are going through menopause prematurely? That is a very big problem for our future children that need to be born. If there are girls that are having the same problem before they even have a child, this is a very big problem. If you've ever watched a movie, Children of Men, that is a good movie for you to look at as a documentary. By the way, all movies, especially comedy, side note, I digress, should be watched as documentaries. Anything that's put out of Hollywood for us to consume must be watched carefully. You cannot watch any movies, any shows without recourse of it coming into you if you're not paying attention, and it will program you to believe whatever it is that they're telling you to believe. I digress and apologize. We're going back to people perishing very, very quickly. Unfortunately, in this article, it does not state how old the dentist was, but dentist drops dead from cardiac arrest in the middle of patient's routine treatment. So this man was feeling totally normal, never had any problems with his heart, get this. A California dentist has dropped dead suddenly in the middle of performing a routine treatment on a patient, according to reports. So there he is, going into work, not feeling a thing, working on his patients. Imagine being the patient in the chair and the person just has a heart attack. Or why don't we talk about all of the reporters that are dropping dead right on camera? And we're still, this is the new normal. So we don't know how old he is because unfortunately it does not state how old he is. Pro wrestler, maybe you guys know this guy, Curtis, Mad Curtis. Chapman drops, so his name is Curtis Chapman, and his fighting name is Mad Kurt. Drops dead at the ripe old age of 26. Cause of death, unknown. How is this okay with everyone? How are we so polite in society where we are absolutely perturbed that the transgender community doesn't have enough rights? What about us being perturbed by the amount of deaths that's happening? 26-year-olds that are wrestlers should be in the top physique state. And when you're a wrestler or when you're a professional anything, you are an insurance liability if you're not completely checked. These people that are in the limelight, whether they're tennis player, whether they're cricket players, these people go through regimes of medical exams like you wouldn't believe. When they go through, and I know this personally because I actually have family members that have actually made it to high ends of soccer. And when you are in that realm, they literally test you day in and day out because they do not want to have an athlete dropping dead. You understand? Insurance on these people is about getting in front of the problem and figuring it out. I know for a fact that one of my family members was in a high level soccer position where they were going in and they've made the big team, they're already in the big leagues, but now they are going through the regimen of now becoming sort of that team player. My family member had everything done, heart, lungs, all their bone structure. They were so tested that something was found that he had not known was present, that they had gone to doctors about it previously. They were unable to get help for this because nobody ever saw this kind of problem. Nobody thought it was a problem until he made it to the big leagues. Once he made it to the big leagues, they were like, oh, no, you're not exactly perfect. So we need to figure out if this is going to affect your playing and your performance out there. Because when you're out there, you're representing us. Is it not strange to anyone out there that these million and billion dollar industries that usually protect themselves preemptively are not doing so? They're losing athletes. They are losing athletes like mosquitoes to those zappers. That is not good business. Are we past the need for business? Because that's what it looks like to me. Some of these athletes look like they're disposable. Just saying. Okay. Pro wrestler Mad Kurt Chapman has died suddenly at the age of 26 years old. People, he's not even full grown. So again, we are in a place where we have self-driving cars that are being pushed. We have GPS that knows exactly your location on any street. We have MRIs. We have IG, or what is that? The AI, IGP, or PTI, or SPT, or whatever the heck that open AI is. But we can't tell what a 26-year-old dies from. when he suddenly dies without a cold, without so much as having pain in his body? Come on, people. If we don't wake up soon, it will be sadly too late. Moving on. Now we're going to get into some of these fun articles that I found that are pointing to a possible culprit. The name of this article is CDC 143,233%. Now listen, I had to read this a couple of times. 143,233% surge. So 143,233% surge in fatal cancers amongst the treated. Okay? Official data from the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention has revealed that alarming spikes in fatal cancers amongst Americans who have received the treatment that was mandated. The data shows that cancer, the leading cause of death in the United States, has been soaring over the past 2 years. Coincidence? I don't think so. However, the data shows the correlation between the rise of cancer and public rollouts of the treatment, and the U.S. federal government's own official data confirms that the risk of developing cancer following the mandated treatment is increased by a staggering amount of 143,233%. That's ridiculous. This is why I took this out, because I don't even know what that percentage looks like. That's a massive percentage, 143,233%. That's ridiculous. The fact that there is something out here that displays this should have us thinking, okay. Now we go, so these are all the people that have perished. Now, there's all of this information that you can find online, but nobody seems to be looking at it. Censored study exposes 17 million people perished that were treated. Amongst the people that were treated, 17 million people have already perished, gone, done, expired out of the people that have been treated. This is serious. But it's very important that we look at these seriously, even just to consider them. You don't have to take them as truth, but consider the other side. So in this study, a groundbreaking study has revealed that 17 million people have perished worldwide after getting the mandated treatment. The shocking study, when I'm reading, I have to change some of the words. As you know, we have to get very, very creative in how we bring these things to you. So I do apologize if I'm trying to think of other words that are instead printed on this paper, because a lot these don't see the light of day because there's words in there where the algorithms will pull it out and pull our information. As we all know, we're all struggling against the same thing. I'm just starting my struggle. This shocking study should be garnering worldwide attention and calls for an immediate cease of use of this treatment. Instead, it has been censored, blacklisted, and the study has been buried. And the study, so it goes on to saying what the study was. The study, a team of doctors studied 17 countries across 4 continents, in Latin America and in the equatorial, I can't say it. I cannot say it. Where the equator is, close to the equator region, which provides them with a representation sample of the world. We calculated the toxicity of the treatment in all ages, explained the doctor. Given the number of doses given worldwide, to conclude that 17 million people would have been prematurely expired as a result. The 17 countries from the Southern Hemisphere were Argentina, Australia, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Malaysia, New Zealand, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Singapore, South Africa, Suriname, I don't know that, that's terrible. I have to figure out what that is. Thailand and Uruguay. So these are all the countries that they did the study in. The next one that maybe we can look to get a little bit of clarity as to why these people are suddenly just out of the blue falling down to their final moments. Official data reveals countdown to death amongst the treated. This is serious because now there's more and more articles that are starting to be almost alarmist. The article goes on to say, government data reveals a disturbing countdown to death that is impacting those that got treated. The data reveals spikes in sudden death within a window of a time after the treatment is received. It goes on to say in this article that the time after the treatment is different in people, very different. And this leads me back to, it's not the same for everyone. But what they are saying is that official data from the UK government shows that from April 2022 through to December 2022, 407,910 deaths occurred, with 47,379 excess. So more from year to year, from when they look at year on year, 47,379 excess more deaths happened than the years from 2015 to 2019. So the 5-year average, so 5 years over years, 5 years over 5 years, period. I'm just making this more complicated. 50,000 souls over and above were lost for no apparent reason. Okay, for no apparent reason. And I might add that this is not during the December 2019 to December 2020, which is the year that we allegedly had the big one. As the investigation deepens, it has become increasingly clear that the treatment that was mandated are the most likely causes of this unprecedented life in Britain. Moving on. Leaked with the P, ISER, documents expose plan to depopulate Earth by 2025. These are no jokes. This is not, I know we joke that we don't want to educate you, but that's a joke. Just like the news is also a joke. It's the reverse. The news jokes that they want to inform you, but really all they really want to do is fearmonger, get you to believe that there's no hope and that you need the government, you need all these experts, you need all these people to tell you what to do next. No. You have the power to be able to look at this face on and decide how you want to move forward. Now, so in this P. ISER document that was exposed, it goes on to say, a leaked batch of documents from the pharmaceutical giant P. ISER has exposed a disturbing plan that seeks to massively reduce the population of humans on Earth by the year 2025. Now, I don't know if anybody can do the math, but that's 12 months from now. And this isn't to scare you. This is to wake you up and for you to stand up straight and take ownership of the psychopathic, very abusive situation that we are in. All right, so we're going back. The P. ISER giant documents outline a 5-year plan starting in 2020 to massively depopulate the world. In the confidential document that it had submitted to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the The forecast by Deagle, I guess this is the gentleman that did the report, a global intelligence and consulting firm, the Deagle is the firm, I guess, is mentioned. It points to 2025 as the year when mass perishing, let's say, from the treatment becomes apparent. The problem with human nature is that we have certain things as defense mechanism. The defense mechanism that we're using currently is denial. Denial is one of the first things we reach for. You're in denial if you're in an abusive situation. You're in denial if somebody is sick and going to die. Denial is the number one easiest to go for humans. People, we need to get out of denial. Your family depends on you waking up. I promise you that once you look at this square in the face, it's not as scary. It's devastating, but you are at least less likely to be frozen in place. Now let's go back. How did the world get here? So this article goes on to say, Deagle, which is the company that that this document was leaked from, expects the population of the United Kingdom to drop by 77.1% come 2025. People, I want you to hear what this document said. Deagle expects the population of the United Kingdom to drop by 77.1%. It goes on, United States is expected to drop by 68% by 2025. 68%. America has what? 350, give or take, million people? We're going to get the pandemic, we're promised. As for Germany, its population is expected to decrease by 65.1%. Another one, experts, who they are, we have no idea because they're experts, they know everything. Although I think we got here with experts, and why we're not bringing them to accountability? Why is Fauci still free? Why is he still free? This one is fired nurse whistleblower exposes mass treatment deaths. A California nurse who was fired for refusing to comply with her hospital mandates had blown the whistle on a major cover-up of deaths related to the treatment. McRae is accusing the hospital where she worked of violating medical ethics, which it is. Medical ethics stand for do no harm first. The article goes on. After the treatment was rolled out, McRae witnessed a dramatic spike in hospitalizations and deaths. All right, moving on. She goes on to say the patients were suffering from side effects that she had never, ever seen before that became a regular occurrence. Meanwhile, proven and recommended treatments were banned and record-keeping systems were manipulated, and the treatment injury away from the treatment injuries, and the breakthrough infections also were not recorded. The deaths often sorry, I lost my place. She also revealed that hospital officials ordered staff to cover up the treatment-related deaths and listing them as the sickness cause of death. Last, almost and not least, top cardiologists say that the mandate pushers are complicit against crimes against humanity. And I will say that that is a brave, brave soul that is saying it out loud and how it is, because the truth is not really popular. One of the world's leading cardiologists has spoken out to warn those behind pushing the treatment, the public, on the public, that they are complicit in crimes against humanity, warning The warning was issued by Dr. Peter McCullough. Now, Dr. Peter McCullough has been at the front lines of this. He is well read, he is well written, he is well reviewed. He is, I think, one of the crucial people that are going to be still standing, because he's got such a clean record that it's very, very hard for the people behind this, whoever they are, to really attach themselves and bring him down, because they've tore down so many doctors on much less. So Dr. Peter McCullough. So the warning was issued by Dr. Peter McCullough, one of the most published heart specialists in the world. Dr. McCullough has been raising the alarm for some time regarding the treatment impact of health. The top experts have been calling the treatment to be banned, with the concerns that they are responsible for the recent spikes in blood clots, strokes, heart failure, and sudden death. Now, McCullough has issued a direct message to those involved in the public rollout of this treatment. So I do apologize, but I have to keep changing the words here. Each and every person who ever encouraged, pressured, coerced, or threatened reprisal of one of these treatments is complicit in the crime against humanity. Last, and I saved this one for last, but there have already been little preludes to this. Experts warn. Here we go with these experts. The new sickness, that's a new strain of the sickness, will trigger a global heart failure pandemic. Now, I'm just going to read two little important facts that I had highlighted here. A group of so-called experts has been warning the public that a new strain of the sickness is about to emerge that will trigger a global heart failure pandemic. This article is really great because it ends with a couple of steps, and I really think they're important steps for you to ponder on. Step 1, terrify the world. Check. Step 2, use that fear to force the world to get treatment, drug therapy that permanently cripples their heart. Let's just say, check. Step 3, introduce a new fear that explains why everyone's heart is shutting down. For improved results, repeat step 2 over and over and over again. These news stories lead you all over the place, but there's one bullseye, there's one truth, and it's always hovering around one thing: the treatment. And that is the end of our broadcast for tonight. I thank you very much for being with us tonight. I wish you a good evening, and most of all, health. And may your eyes not only be open, but I hope they start seeing the truth that is being rolled out for all of us to see. The time is now, people. Thank you, and have a good night.